your imagination will evolve as your competency evolves also.
What I'm saying is if you feel like you're in a slump right now, don't lose sight of the goal. Don't lose sight of your imagination. It is possible.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was number 857, When I Find My Blind Spot, How Do I Shift My Identity? Today, for episode number 858, one of my favorite quotes ever, your reality becomes the parts of your imagination you hold on to the longest. Alan and I, last weekend, so if you're listening to this on Friday, last weekend, the previous weekend, on Saturday, I drove up to Maine, and Alan drove up to Maine with Emilia and Tucker, and we went to one of our client and good friends' houses, Dr. Taryn McCarthy, where we're going to be hosting a retreat later this year. We'll talk about that later. But this is a beautiful, beautiful home on a bunch of land in Maine, and this is the second time I went up there. The first time was over the summer. And this is a beautiful home. It's a mansion. Quite literally, it's a mansion. A beautiful home. And when you walk in, I think there's a couple different ways you can go. Some people will vilify that and say, oh, who needs a house that big? And it's too much, and there's too much space, and it must be so hard to clean and all that stuff. Who needs this much land? And there'll be people who will really let their imaginations run wild, and they'll think about, what would it be like to live here? And naturally, I went with the second one. And one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to take the elevator. There's an elevator in this house. So Alan and I took the elevator from the basement to the second floor, which was wonderful. And there's a beautiful fireplace, and there's this outdoor fireplace. You have to have the audacity to imagine what that would be like, because somebody built that house. Somebody built your dream house. Somebody built your dream car. Somebody most likely has your dream relationship. Somebody most likely has your dream body. You have to let your imagination run wild. Now, obviously, you have to do the work, and you have to be disciplined, and you have to be consistent. You have to have the right inputs, of course. But I think we're taught in school not to daydream. Pay attention to where you're at. Don't daydream. You have to stay present. And yeah, it's important, but it's also important to figure out, where do you want to go in the future? And I think a lot of us set our goals based on what we think we can get, not what we actually want. I want a house like that. That inspires me, and that helps me let my imagination run wild. I told this to Bianca, and she said she started doing it, and it was a game changer. Every single day I have something I do on my system of success, my PPT, called manifestation visualization. And I will watch a car review of a car I want. I'll watch a mansion tour. And again, this is an important distinction. I do not expect to get these things unless I do the work necessary. But it has helped me understand that there are a lot of multi-million-dollar houses out there. There are a lot of cars that cost $175,000 a year. There are a lot of them that I have never heard of. And somebody, as Alan would say, somebody is going to buy these things. It might as well be you. So don't feel bad about using your imagination. Don't feel bad about wanting extravagant things. Don't feel bad about wanting to stretch your reality. Just make sure you're doing the right things to get you there. And spend time around people who also have big dreams, big goals, big ambitions, and they also are letting their imaginations work for them. I think a lot of us shut it down, and they say, I can only get this. I can only have what I have now. And if you really tapped into your imagination, you'd realize there's a lot more possible for you than maybe you believe right now.
So I didn't intend to go this way, but Kev, what's your dream car?
My dream car is a Mercedes AMG GTR.
How much is that car if you were to buy it in cash?
The one I want all the fixings, all the bells and whistles. I think it's probably like maybe 220,000, maybe.
All right. So one of the reasons why people don't set a goal like what Kevin just told me is because they don't understand how achievable it actually is. What's the monthly payment on a car like that? Because that monthly payment is lower than the monthly payment on the home that I'm in right now. Because the home that I'm in right now is worth 2 times that.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, and again, it's numbers. I know what Alan's saying, but it's a 6-year loan versus a 30-year loan.
Right.
So that's
true.
the only jeffing. But
So go ahead.
I think when I looked, I think it was like 8,000 a month.
Okay. So anyone out there viewing this or listening to this, do you believe that it's possible to create $8,000 more of revenue per month? See, that's way easier to think of. And I'm just realizing this now that I'm trying to transcode more in the finance and math and business and success arena. It's a lot easier for people to perceive of 8,000 more per month in revenue, in income, is possible. Therefore, it's easier to say that than, hey, I'm going to buy a $200,000 car.
For sure.
Because I think a lot of people think, oh, a $200,000 car, I need $200,000 to buy that. That's not at all the way of it. Just like when you bought a new car for $40,000, you probably have a monthly payment. It's the same idea. And so it's very, very doable. So one of the other things, I wanted to tell you a story on this. I had a client, this is 2.5 years ago, said, hey, I saw you on David Meltzer's show, and I really want to work with you. So we get on the phone, and we do the whole song and dance. We onboard, awesome. Rocking and rolling, cranking. Tells me his dream. His dream at the time, so he's working for, he does Android coding, and he's working for a company, and he's a coder. And he said, my dream is to work for myself. I've always wanted to work for myself. I got to create enough passive income. I want to create enough passive income to quit my full-time job. As a matter of fact, I want to make my annual income into my monthly income. Now, this was years ago, 2.5 years ago. I am very, very proud to say, and this is the interesting thing too, because he ended up leaving my coaching for a good 8 months. And then we reconnected later, and we had like a mini falling out, and then we came back, and we reconciled with a vulnerable conversation. And it wasn't that long ago, probably 5 or so months ago, that he created his own company. He created his own website, and it grossed over $450,000, I believe, in 6 days. And he's made an additional $50,000 in the last, I think, 2 months as well. And so it's growing exponentially. Here's my point. If anyone talked to him even a year ago, they wouldn't have been able to see that his imagination 2.5 years ago was actually going to come true. And I remember when we first got on the phone after he finally had hit that successful $450,000 in 6 days mark, and I was like, have you put in your 2 weeks? And he's like, no. I was like, go put in your 2 weeks. And they ended up just not wanting him to even put in his 2 weeks. And now he's running his own business, and he's decided recently to stay the CEO.
Hi, my name's John Laurito, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to Kevin Palmieri. I had reached out to him. He had been referred to me when I had shared with a friend of mine some interest in doing a podcast, and he said, you've got to use Kevin. He's fantastic. He's the best around. He'll get you started and off the ground and soaring high in no time. And take it from somebody who knows nothing about podcasting other than maybe saying a few things. But as far as behind the scenes, the startup, everything, I knew nothing. Kevin was phenomenal in terms of leading me through the whole process. And not just easy to work with, but really, really knows his stuff. A great combination between leading me through all the stuff I had no idea what I was doing, but also really listening to me and understanding what it was I was trying to accomplish and what my vision is. So whether you're looking for somebody to help you and get you started, or somebody, as I've done, where I'm putting it entirely in his hands because I've got total trust and confidence in him, and he is a true pro and easy to work with, any of those ends of the spectrum, you're going to have a lot of success and a lot of fun working with Kevin. Trust me. Thanks.
But I just wanted to tell that story because honestly, when we reconnected after that 8-month hiatus, I asked how he was doing. He's like, well, honestly, I got that grant we worked on and I did this, that, and the other thing, but honestly, not much has changed. And he seemed like he was in a little bit of a slump. What I'm saying is if you feel like you're in a slump right now, don't lose sight of the goal. Don't lose sight of your imagination. It is possible. I witnessed someone who appeared to be losing, quote unquote, for 2.5 years, make $450,000 in 6 days. Okay? I know it sounds nuts. I know it sounds crazy, but it all is just a blip in time. If you look at the wrong blip in time and you're not looking at the aggregate and the trajectory, you might lose sight of what's really possible. So Is it probable that everyone's going to make 450 grand in 6 days? No. Statistically speaking, that's not normal. Is it possible? Yes. Is it possible for someone who decided to do it 2.5 years ago and then went and got a coach that helped them do it and then worked hard every single day to make it happen? Yes. It's not only possible, it's actually probable. So get on the right side of the ledger on this. Get on the side of possibility and probability and hard work by making sure that you are having an imagination. So the action that I wanted to talk about today was create a vision board. I have mine in the corner. It says Alan's vision board. Very original, I know.
Fancy.
And it's 4 different types of goals, and I won't go deep on this because we can do another episode on this at some point. I do growth goals, which are skills you want to develop, things you want to master. Process goals, an example of that would be 2,000 episodes of Next Level University. That's a process goal. And then you have results goals. Results goals is something like we want 10 million listens by the end of 2022. Okay? So, and then philanthropic goals, which is any sort of charity or nonprofit type of mission work. So those are the 4 types. Create a vision board. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't even have to be images. Kevin uses images. I'm pretty sure he has, his home and puppies and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yep.
Mine is just written naturally. It's on a whiteboard. It's just bubbles. It's just written. If you don't have one, go create a vision board. Emilia and I were on the phone with an amazing couple 2 weekends ago, and they didn't have a vision together. And now they have a vision together of this home they want. They want horses. They have clarity. They don't know how it's going to happen. But we just had another conversation this past weekend where the female in the relationship was talking about how she doesn't believe she makes enough money. And then we went into, okay, well, why is that? And then we went into, well, what if you got this job? And what if you started this side thing? And actually, there might be an opportunity for her at NLU. That's a whole nother thing. So, but if she didn't have the vision board, if she didn't create the goals, it wouldn't have created the necessity to start questioning, maybe I'm not making enough here. Maybe I'm worth more than this. And then that questioning got us talking about how to actually get her debt-free. I told her in the next 2 to 3 years, you could be debt-free and 25 grand in the green, not living paycheck to paycheck ever again. It's totally mathematically doable. And the only reason why this didn't happen earlier is probably because you didn't have the huge goals that created the necessity for this conversation. So that's...
Okay. I was going to say, and understand too, your imagination will evolve as your competency evolves also. On June 15th, 2017, for episode number 7 of the Hyper Conscious podcast, I did an episode called Chase Your Effing Dreams. And my dreams, my imagination during that episode was to be my own boss, to wake up when I wanted, to go to the gym when I wanted, to podcast with awesome people, to spend time with my friends when I wanted, and to have an awesome relationship. And that was 4.5 years ago. 4.5 years ago. 4.5 years ago, I was not talking about this car. I was not talking about the travel. I was not talking about the philanthropy. I was not talking about the homes that I want. My goals were different. My imagination, I was only able to see so far out. That's okay. It's okay if you don't want to have a $250,000 car. Maybe your imagination is, I want to wake up with a body I love. Imagine what that would be like, to look in the mirror and be proud. Awesome. That's a great goal. That's a great goal. Now it's time to get after it. That's okay. It's okay to not have huge goals right now, because as you grow, your goals will too. And I think that's an important distinction. I don't want you to think I woke up one day and said, hey, I'm going to have all of these things. I'm going to have this level of wealth. I did not decide that very early on. That has leveled up as I have leveled up. And again, 850 something episodes is a lot of episodes to go through. And every single day you're learning and growing. So your expectations, your visualizations, your imagination will grow also. Next Level Nation, Labor Day weekend, 2022. Imagine this. Alan and I were at this wonderful house in Maine, this beautiful house in Maine. Huge shout out to our client and good friend, Dr. Taryn McCarthy, because we are having a retreat. So it's going to be 2 days. Is that correct?
2.5.
2.5 days. We're going to have guest speakers that will be teaching you different things. We're going to have a whiteboard set up. We're going to have an amazing room. And this house is going to have a private chef. And we're going to have bonfires at night. And we're only taking 10 people. So 10 people, you and 9 other people. doing something amazing, being in an amazing house where your imagination is going to run wild. You're going to make deep, deep, deep connections with other people but yourself. And you're going to think and feel and believe for the first time, maybe ever, what's really, truly possible for you. It is the first Next Level retreat, the first annual Next Level retreat. More details to come. You'll see footage released because that's why I went up there. But just imagine that. Imagine yourself in a dream home talking about living your dreams.
Imagine this. You fly in Friday night, Labor Day weekend. You sleep in this unbelievably beautiful 45-acre home up in Maine. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's early September, so it's warm. Tail end of the summer. And you wake up in the morning, 8 a.m. start. There's 2 speakers per day, and it's deep dive. So 3 hours, lunch break, another 3 hours. And then in the evening, a bonfire, like Kevin said. Then you go to bed. Sunday, same deal, 2 speakers, 3 hours each, lunch, private chef, and then in the evening, another activity, probably involving exercise. Then Sunday morning, the first part of the day, the first half of the day is a mastermind type of format that I'm going to run where you take all the takeaways and try to really engineer an actual game plan that you leave with. And then the afternoon, noon hits, and you eat lunch and you go off and travel home. The reason why I'm saying this is because Next Level Live is March 26th, and we're giving 30% off tickets, and we're actually having a special couples price because some of the beds that are available in this home are for couples. And so if you go to Next Level Live March 26th, which is $97 per ticket, reach out to Kevin or myself. We don't have the landing page done yet, but we will very, very soon. You're going to get 30% off the tickets to this retreat. So join us at Next Level Live, March 26th. That's a half day, 4 speakers event. And then we'll be selling tickets to the retreat at Next Level Live at a discounted rate that no one else will be getting. And so reach out to Kevin or myself if you want to go to the retreat. Reach out to Kevin or myself if you want to go to Next Level Live. Again, only 10 people will be coming to this retreat because there's only 10 beds. Okay? And then only 50 people will be going to Next Level Live because of the COVID, and we want to make sure that everyone stays safe. So 60 tickets total. If you're interested in one of those or both of those, you need to reach out to Kevin or myself immediately.
2022 can be a magical year. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the world, but we have to keep pouring into ourselves, pouring into our own personal development, because at the end of the day, our competency, our confidence level, our capabilities are up to us. And that's what we're focused on in 2022. And we want you to join us. Next Level Nation tomorrow for episode number 859. It's Strategy Saturday, how to master anything. As always, we love you, appreciate you, grateful for each and every one of you. We love talking to members of the Next Level family. Please connect with us on Instagram. I am at Never Quit Kid. Alan is at Lazaros, Alazaros 88 on Instagram. As always, at Next Level U, we do not have fans, we have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.